Hey everyone, my name is Nick. Today we're working on a 2006 Lincoln Town Car. If you care, it's a 25th anniversary, which is just a signature limited that happens to have a factory package on it. The problem in question is for code 2266 on your electronic climate control. This is for blend door actuators. Specifically, this is for the driver's side one that controls the temperature that you feel on the driver's side of the car. These are very, very common to fail on 2005, 6, and 7 models and some of the early 2008s. Not sure why Ford changed their vendor or whatever the detail may be, but these are super common to fail. And luckily, at least these are pretty easy to change. So I do have replacement part here, Y81753, or if you want the other number, 9W1Z19E616-A. With all that said, to do this job, the actuator is located up behind the lighting control module. Where is all this? That is unfortunately under the dash. This is a job you can certainly do on your own at home. You don't need to unplug the battery or anything. You just need some dexterity, some room, and a little bit of flexibility because, again, you are going to be working under the dash. So the highlight to do this job, step 1, under the dash, you need to remove the lighting control module. Lighting control module is held in with, I believe, 2 7mm screws on a bracket. You'll do your best to disconnect the 4 plugs that go into the back of it. Once you have that out, then you can kind of walk the lighting control module out of the way. Next, you'll disconnect the electrical connector for the blend door actuator. Take out the 3 8mm screws, which are self-tapping into plastic. Get those out. Pop out the old one. Pop in a new one. Put everything back together. Installation is reversive removal, but I'm going to show you how you do this on this car, so let's get started. So, as I was saying, this is under the dash, so as long as you have a 7mm, an 8mm, apparently a mosquito, and a good light, maybe even a small flat blade screwdriver just for prying purposes. Step 1 is to get this lighting control module out of the way. As again, it's held in with the screw there. There should be another, I thought there was another screw. Yeah, it's right here, right there. So you need to get those 2 out, and then you can start working on the connectors, which are, as you can see, the colored ones right there. So just go ahead and take those fasteners out, take those connectors out. Okay, so you got some tabs here you can easily get to on the bottom. Unfortunately, the upper ones are pretty tough. You gotta have some dexterity. You have tabs right there you have to squeeze down and pop out. Once those are out of the way, keep in mind you also have your parking brake release vacuum line here. So slide this thing back enough and you should be able to walk this thing out of the way like so. And now you have a much better vantage point if you haven't gone dizzy on your blend door actuator, which is right there. And to take that one out, you just have 3 8mm screws to remove. So let me get those out. We can move on. All right, so once you have the blend door actuator out, you should be able to look up and see where it was. This is also a good time to take a look at the replacement unit and make sure you note how to index it in there. So if you try to just line up these attachment points, and there's an alignment nub as well up there, you'll never get this to actually seat into the housing. You first need to seat the peg here, this dowel, which is what actually manipulates the flow. Once you do that, then you can rotate this into the correct position and then pop it into its locator nub and be able to fasten the blend door actuator down. It's also a good time to rotate it by hand. While you're doing that, rotate it to its extremes just to make sure it feels okay. And you will hopefully find there's no issues, because if you find that something's wrong or it feels off, you have bigger problems up in the HVAC box that you probably don't want to deal with. So just something to keep in mind. All right, so actuator is in, plugged in. Now it's time to just reconnect the various connections into the back of the lighting control module. They only fit in one slot, so if it doesn't, it seems like you're in the neighborhood but can't go down the street, just try the street next door and it'll click into place. There's going to be plenty of tape falling off, unfortunately. There. So now that's all bolted back in. Take some time, touch up stuff like this here. This is falling off. Put a zip tie around the retainer clip and this band maybe to hold it taut. You can see here at some point this broke off down here, so maybe get a zip tie and zip this up so your foot doesn't catch it and rip it out. Just some ideas to address things while you're under here. And otherwise, with those plugged back in and your fasteners all bolted back in, that is the job. So in actual work time, I can do this in probably 8 minutes. It's really not tough. It's just, unfortunately, you don't have a whole lot of room here to work. So that's all that's required. That's all that gets done. And not much more to say here. So thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you have any questions.